Good morning. It is good to be here, and we're going to dive into another lesson in Isaiah as we go in. This will be Isaiah part 23, and it covers Isaiah 15, 1 through 9, and that's the whole chapter of 15. And so it's another oracle. And remember, we talked about in the last one, we talked about what an oracle was. And just for those that didn't know, an oracle is actually a prophecy. So this is about, in this particular case, it's about Moab. This is the oracle concerning Moab, and that means prophecy. So God gave Isaiah prophecy concerning Moab, and that's what this is about. And so we'll get started with Isaiah chapter 15, starting in verse 1. An oracle against Moab. In Moab is devastated, destroyed in a night. Ker in Moab is devastated, destroyed in a night. Uh, Dibon went up to its temple to weep at its high places. Moab wails on Nebo and at Medeba. It, every head is shaved and every beard is cut off. In its streets, they wear sackcloth on its rooftops and in the public squares. Everyone wails, falling down and weeping. Heshbon and Elealeh cry out. Their voices are heard as far as Jahaz. Therefore, the soldiers of Moab cry out and they tremble. Okay, and my heart cries out over Moab, whose fugitives flee as far as Zoar and Elish Elish Shalishah. They go up the slope of Luhith, weeping. They raise a cry of destruction on the road to Herom, and the waters of Nimrim are just desolate. The grass is withered, the foliage is gone, and the vegetation has vanished. So they carry their wealth and belongings over the wadi of the willows, for their cry echoes throughout the territory of Moab, and their wailings reach Miklah. Their wailings reaches Bir, and the waters of Dibon are full of blood. But I will bring on Dibon even more than this, a lion for those who escaped from Moab, and for the survivors in the land. Wow, there's a lot going on there. So let's look at kind of pick it apart here and look at what's going on. In Isaiah chapter 15, verses 1 through 9, an oracle or a burden is a weighty prophecy of judgment against the nation of Moab, located east of the Dead Sea. It describes the sudden and complete destruction and subsequent widespread lamentation that would befall Moab. Okay, divine judgment likely fulfilled by the invading Assyrian armies in the 8th century BCE. Meaning, the meaning and the key themes are this: one is divine judgment. The central message is that God is sovereign over all the nations and will bring judgment upon those who are proud and practice idolatry and mistreat his people, Israel. Moab, though related to Israel, though through Lot, was a long time known enemy known for his arrogance and reliance on his own fortification and the false god Cherush. The second thing is sudden and total destruction. The prophecy emphasizes the swiftness of the calamity with key cities like and Ker destroyed in a night. The devastation is total, affecting the entire land from its borders to its central cities. The third thing was widespread mourning and despair. The passage uses vivid imagery of traditional mourning rituals to convey the depths of the nation's grief. People go to their temples and high places to weep before the useless idols. Men shave their heads and cut off their beards, and everyone wears sackcloth in the streets and on the rooftops. A great cry of distress and wailing is heard throughout the land, from Heshbon to Elealeh, and as far as the border of Englam and Bir Elam. So the futility of this is the fourth thing, futility of human security. The destruction of Moab's agricultural wealth, the waters of Nimrim dried up, and the fight of its people and their possessions show the futility of relying on material wealth and strong cities or false gods for security. The next is compassion of the prophet. Despite pronouncing judgment, the prophet Isaiah expresses a personal lamentation and compassion for the suffering people at Moab, showing that divine judgment does not negate divine mercy. Inevitable consequences of sin, the remnant who escaped from the initial slaughter are promised even more suffering with God sending lions, likely a metaphor for further invaders, upon them, illustrating that the consequences of ignoring God's warning cannot be fully escaped. Okay, so that is the chapter of 15. And you know what? Once again, it goes back to the idea that there's just no escaping when we rely on things that are not God. In other words, anything that's not God, they're idols. All of that, none of that matters because it's wrong. It's the wrong God. It's not going to save them. Relying on treaties and so forth with other countries is not going to save them. The only one that can save them is God, and turning to Him and repenting and turning to Him and begin to follow Him. Those are the things that can save him. I ask you to subscribe to this channel and actually put a thumbs up and give me some comments, and also share it if you will. I would appreciate it. And I hope that you have a great and awesome day.